DBSCG things.
What is up, Yup gang? My name is Taxon, and welcome back to Yup DBSCG Things. Today we're going over an exciting deck profile. This is going to be the Undefeated from our locals this weekend, Red Broly Swap. But before we get into the deck, guys, I want to say if you want any custom mats and or sleeves, check out ProMats, man. They do a phenomenal job. They did mine and my teams, and they are absolutely amazing. With that being said, there's a link in the description below, so go check them out. And also, guys, if you like my content in general or this deck profile today, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and also hit that notification bell so you never miss a video that I upload. And with that being said, let me turn this camera around and show you this deck. Alrighty, you guys, so we are back again with another Undefeated deck profile from our locals, and it is going to be our own Yup member, Barber, with his Red Broly.
So guys, Barber back again with a different deck profile this week. I've been playing so much Yellow Icarus that now that Nationals is over and we kind of get a break from the whole mega competitive scene, I can pull out a few of my other decks that I like and bring them to locals and have some fun. So I took Red Broly this week. This leader is really good. It's probably one of my favorite decks that's ever been in the game. I've been playing the deck since it came out. I was one of those guys that spent probably like $50 on, no, it was like $70 a promo. But yeah, this deck's sweet. Leader on the front side says once per turn you can add a card from your left to your hand, gains crit. Busted. So usually early game, they're never going to combo out of that, so you're always just going to crit them. And if they do, they losing cards from hand. You're already doing what the deck wants to do anyways. He also has a second activate main. Sometimes people forget to use it, so I like to explain this too. Just go through your deck, grab an extra card with an energy cost of 1, the red one. So on the back side, basically, if you have a Broly in play, he gains crit, and then when he attacks, he gets to draw a card. He gains 5k for the battle. And then anytime one of your Brolys is removed, so he's got a really cool effect. If one of your Brolys is removed from skill or KO'd, then you can basically pitch a card from your hand and play it 4 or less Broly. It's really good. So let's get into the deck.
That or KO'd part's pretty clutch because one of your cards KOs, one of your Broly's, allowing you to do it on your own turn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hyper aggro. That's what Broly is. One of my favorite styles to play. I love playing aggro. So we start out the deck. You got 2-planet Vampa. This is just a card if you don't see your 1-drop. You want to find this thing with your leader effect. It searches the top 5. You take a life. If you put a red Broly, or I think it's like you can play a red Broly, Paragus, or Ba with a 5k cost, or yeah, power cost. And then basically, yeah, like you grab a card from your life, you search the top 7. If you put a card to hand, you have to pitch a card. But you can play out the 1-drop Brolys from this if you don't find them on most good.
And post errata, it does say you have to have no battle cards.
Yeah, you don't have to have any battle. You have to have no battle cards on the field. But honestly, like that never really comes up. You're really gonna just play this on turn 1. If they clear your field, you'll use it again.
Absolutely. I was just saying that for players that don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Best counter attacking the deck besides the other one, the 1/1. King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. This card is really good. If you have 3 or less life, you can play it for free by pitching a card. Otherwise, it's 1 energy. But you counter the attack. The attacking card gets -10, ignoring barrier. And then for the rest of the turn, you get a Sensu Bean. So every time they attack, they have to -5. The other 1-drop that we play in here that we can search off leader is Wolfang Fist. I've played the Piccolo Unison in this, so this thing's live like turn 1. You can Yamcha and into this to take out 30Ks. Even if they just play anything early that's 15k or less, it's gone. And it's free. Or it could be 1 if you don't have the Unison in play.
Free 99.
I love free. So like I said, we do play the Piccolo Unison. Piccolo Unison is really good. He's in 1-drop. He basically comes out. You can plus on him, neg something by 5k across the field. And then he has an ability once per turn when your opponent takes a card from their light to hand or drop. He gets a marker anyways. So he can plus 2 a turn. That's pretty cool. And then on your opponent's turn, he can plus.
Plus 2 a turn, yeah, right. The Broly's plus that thing like 1,000.
Well, yeah. Well, but just him alone. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, you know, on their turn, he can plus 2. On their turn, he can plus 1. But he has a really sick effect, -6, that you play 2 cards from your deck or hand, different costs, or different card names, energy cost of 3, and 19k power or less. And yeah, this thing's sweet. This is pretty much your win con of the deck most of the time. because you're going to play off Pan and a couple other cards. So to go with the Unison, if we see this guy, we play him. New ruler. Enough said about this card. 20k double strike. Free if this guy has 3 markers. Your opponent can't block. Really good.
Yeah, and that's the moment you play that Piccolo, because he comes for 1 and gets 2, like we were saying. So, in the very first turn that Piccolo comes, that Piccolo will come right after him.
Exactly. To couple with that, you got your 2 Yamcha counterplays. Like I said, this guy gonna have probably 3 markers by turn 1, so this thing's live. So yeah, anything they play 15k, it's gonna snipe it. You can choose 2 targets if there are 2 on board. And like I said, when you couple this with Wolfang Fist, you have up to 30,000 power you can deck. Excuse me. So also with the Piccolo Unison, we play the Pan. She's probably our main target that we find. After we play our 1 card off of this, we'll play this one second. This card comes onto the field, gives everything 5k and double strike besides your Unison. So leader cards and battle cards all gain 5k and double strike. I played 2 because I played it at 1 for the longest time, and you still see it almost every game, but like 2 is just, this card literally is a game winner. So like, and you can play it for 3 and still win game by just giving, I think, double strike and crit anyway. So yeah, Pan, I like it at 2.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you never want to get caught with that 1 up in life.
Yeah, nah. Sometimes it'll be in your life, or you had to discard it from your crit ability. Like it's bad. First attack Gohan, I stole this from a guy who did pretty well at that 1 PPG event in Texas. He's 15k critical, and then when he attacks, if you have 4 or less cards, draw 2 cards. Really good. So basically, you play him into Pan. Pan gives him 5k double, and then you draw 2 off of him. Pretty good. This guy that I usually find off for Piccolo first, because he's probably the best one to find. He's a 3-drop, 15k, critical. So when you play him with Pan, he gets 20k double. And then when you swing with him, you can pop a card on your field and restand him burst 3. And it's burst 3? Yeah, burst 3. And yeah, he gets another attack. So he's basically double strike, dual attack, crit, 20k.
So yeah, the pairing of him with the 5 or 4-drop Broly is just crazy, because you just play him, you swing a double strike crit, you use his effect to burst 3, you pop one of your Brolys you've already swung with, which was probably a double strike crit anyways, and then you just use your leader effect to pitch a card and play a whole new Broly, because that says to KO one of your cards. Yeah,
usually you just pop your 6-drop with this, because by the time you play this card, you're going to have your 6-drop most of the time on field. And then yeah, like, because your 6-drop can't really swap into anything. And I don't play the Big Boy Secret Rare, because I think that card's trash in this deck now that we have Pan. But yeah, he's really good. You play another 4-drop if you KO another Broly, and the Broly makes your opponent continue to warp.
Yes, sir. More pressure.
Best super combo for red, Raditz. Do I really need to say anything about this card? Super combo, bottom deck, draw 2. Good card. I got the pretty ones.
Yeah, foil drip. In this deck, it's the 4 on like turn 2, so that card's live so fast.
Yeah, with Planet Vampa, you can literally control your turn on Awaken. It's so easy. 3 Paragus. If I had enough room, I'd play 4. Paragus is really good. Shout out to that judge that made a really bad call on this card. You made me second guess if I even wanted to play the game after that. But yeah, this card works the way it should. Finds any Broly that's a BR or a 1-cost Unison. Good card. And it plays off the 3-drop, so the 3-drop plays it for free.
It's free 99.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is free. Red is just free. You find this off your 1-drop, plays it from the deck, it's a blocker, and then that finds a card.
You need part of the chain that you need,
yep.
Which is crazy.
It's gotta be 5 or less. Yeah, but like, I mean, your 5-drop's pretty much your strongest card.
Exactly.
6-drop's situational, so I think the 5-drop's just way stronger. 1-drops. Thank you, Bandai, for making another card that is prettier than this, and I had to go buy 4 more. Thank you. Yeah, this card's sweet. Crit a life, find a buy, and then find your piece. And then you swap into the 3-drop off of him for free. 1 energy.
3-drop.
I only play 2 of these. Honestly, I hardly ever play this guy.
Same. I run 2.
Sometimes you'll play him like early or late game to put on extra pressure, but most of the time you just want to play a hand control crit game with them. And this guy is either going to just go in for like the last double strike or something and game or something like that. Because like if you play him off pan, sometimes you have no choice but to play a Broly in a pan, and then you just get that double strike, go into the 3-drop, play that, go into the 4-drop, whatever.
And he is a 15k if you have a ball on board too.
Yeah. I totally forgot to say that. Like, he's still a little 15k
20k
beater.
double strike if pan's effect is inactive.
Yep. Still a little 15k beater. Like I said, some decks it doesn't matter how much hand they have. So you can go turbo aggro, but with most of the game, you just want to go hand control crit game. I played 3 of the Broly Servant Dude. Free swap, 19k, plays the Paragus for free. And then he has Servant, so he can't restand. That doesn't really matter. I usually don't swing with him. If I do, it's probably at a Unison or a battle card. That's about it. This guy though, new little addition to the deck after King Vegeta's deck was the thing. 19k, he's got barrier. You can still swap into him for free off the 1-drop. What's cool about him is instead of going up the chain, you play more of a hand control game and you get to see their hand. So if they're tapped out, you literally can just say, all right, if I have 2 energy and you're tapped out, I play this guy, I look at your hand, I take a card that's 15k or less, and I proceed with my turn. So like today I played Lord Slug. It was funny because like he sat across the table from me and like saw Broly and he just kind of gave me this like sigh. I was like, man, well you play hand control too, so don't give me that. And so yeah, like I played this on his last turn. He had 2 cards in hand because I was swinging actually with like, I actually swung with Pan on that turn. So I swung with Pan, tried to give him a card. I played this, and then I saw what he had, and then I just reached up my monkey and went in for game. He's a really good card.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that card's crazy. Like you said, it does come out off the 1-drop, which you can do basically whenever. So like, let's say you go first, you can stall, do whatever, get your Piccolo Junior out, your Unison, and then going into your turn 2, like let's say you verse Soul Striker per se. What do they do turn 1? They charge a multicolor. So off the rip, they're in rest mode. Going into your turn 2, which is crazy, and then you just swap right into that thing, first things first, and get to look at their hand. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So
great card, great addition.
Yep. And all you have to do is have 2 energy.
That's amazing.
like it doesn't really work off your opponent. Like so the 6-drop works off your opponent, so they can play around it, but they can't play around this card. The only thing they can do is just not tap out.
It's like almost a backwards Broly Crown.
Yeah, and that's like I've actually been thinking about putting 2 Broly Crown in here too. The deck is super tight on space. I like him though because he's searchable. Like this card over Broly Crown because I can search him.
And he's a beater if it need be, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, 19k is a pretty cool number too because like if he's in rest mode, somebody's gonna have to combo into this early game. And then we just get into the regular chain, 4 to 4-drop, Servant. So he's a 20k beater. He's a 1-drop swap off 3, and he makes your opponent warp a card. They get it back at the end of their next turn. I love saying that because it sounds fair, but it's really not. It's like, oh, you get it back at the end of your next turn when you don't need the card.
Yeah, that's
And they usually warp off cards that they're like, oh, I don't need this card right now because it's something for later game, or you know. And then by the time the late game comes, it's like, oh well, all I have is this 1 card.
Absolutely.
And you know what it is
it's
at that
point.
point.
It's also rough too when you use that card. You make them warp cards from hand, and then they're left with the good options left in their hand, and then that's what they got to either negate or combo with. So. Well,
and what's cool with the chain too is like you said, they take their own personal cards and they're like, all right, I don't need this card, I don't need this card. They keep all their good cards. When you go into the 6-drop, you always take their best cards. So if you're playing blue and they only have like 6 cards in hand, you have a 50-50 chance of grabbing Hatch.
That's crazy.
Broly's all math, and that's why I really like the deck. Like literally, you can just count their hand and know if you're gonna win or not. 4 to 5-drop, 30k critical beater, makes them warp another card, and then every one of these gives you a Unison a marker too. So it's like play this, give your unison a marker, play this, give your unison another marker. By the time you're like on turn 2 with like a few Brolys, your unison's ready to go off. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe the 6-drop gives him markers too, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. 6-drop gives him 2 markers.
That's crazy.
And then yeah, like what you're saying, 6-drop. I only play 3 because I feel like I see the card when I need it. If I don't see the card, I can still usually clutch out a win. This is kind of a win more card to me. It's very good against blue. It's very good against yellow. It's very good against things that you just need to take their answers from. But he really doesn't need to be in the deck to win the game, I feel.
Absolutely. That Piccolo unison, like you said earlier, it definitely is your win con. It does most of the work for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Piccolo is really good. But yeah, so like I said, he's crit, double strike, 35k. So you usually pop Piccolo with your 5-drops on board, swing with everything you got, and then they're like, ha ha ha, you don't have the 6-drop, and then you just play a 6-drop for 1. And then ripped all the rest of the cards out of their hand. It's pretty dumb.
The last few cards after surviving.
Literally, yep. I play 1 Overrealm. This is the only deck I really play Fighting Fates in right now because it's super aggressive. Other decks that I have been playing, I play Mass Saiyan, but this is the choice for this deck. And you only have room for 1 Overrealm. Dual attack, 25k. Enough said. Free.
Free.
For Overrealm 6. And then, yeah, well, I'll be saying this for probably another year straight. Best secret rare in the game. Best card in the game. This card is stupid. This card is dumb. I don't know why Bandai decided to make a better card than Kai. I'll say it again. Free. Broly can play it when he's tapped out. Your opponent usually only has 1 more turn to survive if you didn't kill him. And even if they, even if you don't use this card to stop their attacks, which most of the time you do, because like if you see this card, it's a what if. Broly can't search it. It's hard to get. If you see it, cool. If I mulligan for this, I keep it. But yeah, you play her. So like Soul Striker, I was fighting today. He would like swing with leader, and then I'd be like, all right, cool. And then he would play, or I would be like, all right, counterattack. And then he would just go in and try to play like, or no. So what happened was he swung with his leader. I didn't use this because I knew that he was going to combo in that Kefla, right? So I was like, all right, cool. So then he comboed in the Kefla. He bottom decked my I forget what I was, bottom decked a 4 or 5-drop, something like that. I played another one from hand. So then, after he did that, he goes to swing with Unison. Wrong on his part, because I played this card. And then his battle cards couldn't swing. So then, I'm sitting there, he's sitting there like, oh shit, I'm tapped out. I have nothing to do now. I played Kefla. And, I mean, he could pitch a card and tap out my energy that I didn't have open and draw 2. But he still couldn't swing the card. So it was sweet. So then I go to my next turn, and I'm just like, yeah, tap 1, steal your Kefla.
So what are we going to call that card? Like Hatch Lineage?
This is Pan.
Baby Lineage?
This is Pan, dude. Pan Zeno. She has her own name. She's just a new, crazy, busted card. It's not Hatch because it's not as good as Hatch, but it's almost there. But it is Lineage with a 40k body.
Absolutely. What a great card.
And yeah, that's what I played today.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to say? Any shout-outs or anything?
Yeah. I want to shout out the Red Beers player. I wish we would have been able to play like a real tournament, because our tournaments, we just do 3 rounds and then whoever's undefeated is cool, whatever. Yeah, he was literally like going undefeated into the next round, and he looked at my deck and was like, oh, you're playing Red Broly? Oh, if I had to play that in the finals, I'm scooping, dude. I'm scooping. I'm like, really? I was like, all right, that's fine. I'm like, that's fine, but... yeah, so shout out to the Red Broly or Red Beers player. I wish I could have played you. That would have been funny to see. Other than that, shout out to the VSAs, shout out to the Yuhp gang, shout out to Giancarlo from PPG and Marquise. They always kind of help me with ideas. Yeah, that's about it. Barber out.
Barber out. All right, guys. With that being said, if you guys like this deck profile or just today's content in general, consider subscribing or liking this video. Also hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a video. And with that being said, we are gone. See you next week.